Good morning, Rabbi Sai. Wow, that was amazing. That was amazing. So, thank you so much. Thank you, Pinchas Byrne, for putting this together. He told me there's going to be about 30 people. I think there's at least double that here, maybe more. There's a full base medrish, packed house. You know what? I'm going to show the people around the world, the 25,000 people that are watching this. Here, say hello to everybody. It's very, very nice, Oilam. Very, very nice. How you doing? Hey, how you doing? Okay. It's one of the Kfuim here in Chicago. Okay. So, we want to sing a niggin maybe? How about Achenu? Because the situation is, so I know you guys are sick and tired of Achenu, but we'll sing it with such heart. It'll be like never before. You ready? Achenu kol bais Yisrael. Achenu kol bais Yisrael. Hanesuni batzara uvashivya. Oinim bein bayam. Ubebaya bosho Hamokoy mirachem aleim yoitziem mitzara levacho umeafel aleyoyo Umeshivo legeolo ashto Ubizman korib. Shkoya. Beautiful, beautiful. Lili nishmasimi miros urus bas Mordechai, if I didn't say it yet. And I just want to show you a few things. I'm not going to go through all the emails today. We'll spare you. Here's just a picture. I thought it was a beautiful thing. There's a kid in the base medrish. So the shir shows every single day, in the morning at 7:10, and at night at 9 o'clock for the Israelis. So this is the Hebrew shir, about 50 people a night. And this kid right over here, Daniel Leichter, he's 13 years old. He bought, with his own money, he went out and he bought pizza for everybody. I thought it was a beautiful thing. Here they are, father and son, eating pizza. So this I will read to you, if I could see it. Hold on. Which one is it? Okay. It says like this. I thought it would be nice for this crowd over here. Yisrael Lowenstein. 9 days, soldier barbecue, MDYCum, and thought about Achtos. How do you make a barbecue to say thank you to 400 soldiers for the many months of service during the 9 days? With a siyum. Even though my son Zevi was in yeshiva this past year, where they don't really give time for Daf Yomi, he set up a Daf Yomi chavrusa and would do his best to keep up with the shir videos and come in person on the weekends. Even so, we had some parts about Metzia to make up, but he kept on going with the Yomi. When he heard there was a barbecue for soldiers during the 9 days, he put in extra efforts to fill in the gaps and make it seem to go along with the meat for these amazing soldiers. When they asked him how he made a siyum, he proudly told them that it was through MDY and that they can join as well. Kol Kavod Zevi, it's never too late to make a siyum, especially for such a good cause. I also want to tell you about something that hit me in the shir the morning of the siyum. The day before the siyum, I saw sad videos in the news of protests against going to the army and seeing soldiers fighting with and arresting the religious Jews. The morning of the siyum, you showed a video of Achnasas Torah from stolen Torahs that the police retrieved, and how the religious Jews and soldiers were celebrating together. I started crying right there in the shir. Feeling the churban, seeing the potential achdus of the Achnasas Torah compared to the sinas chinam of the protests and fighting. On the way to the siyum, I showed my kids the 2 videos and told them how important it is. They were coming to a group of soldiers and bringing Torah and food and love to them, even though they may look different on the outside. May we all merit a geula shleima and work together to increase achdus during these days. Yisrael Lowenstein, Ramat Bet Shemesh. Thank you, Yisrael. Here he is with his son at the barbecue for soldiers. Givaldik. And once again, that's what's very special. If you go on Zoom, because we do Zoom, there's dozens of people on Zoom every day, and you'll see it's literally like the United Nations. You have guys with white yarmulkes, gray yarmulkes, knitted yarmulkes, velvet yarmulkes, with hats, without hats, beards, payas. everything, and everybody sits together. There's tremendous achdus, and we preach it. We don't just preach it. We do it. There's it's crazy. It's like, I'll tell you a story that I just heard today. There was a guy in the shir. We could call him a little bit not yeshivish. A guy, colored shirts. Somebody from the shir called him up. And I don't want to say his name because the rest of you are going to call him up. So somebody called him up and she said, "Hey, what do you recommend? I want to go on a vacation with my wife, and do you recommend this state, this state?" He said, "No, I recommend you come to my place. I have a pool, I have this. You come to my place. I'm not going to be there." So I found out today that he flew. This guy got on a plane. He flew to that house, his vacation home, and packed it with meat, good meat. So the guy, when he comes with his family, not only to give him his house, he filled up the freezer and the fridge with food. That's the achtos, and that guy is more of a yeshivish guy, the guest, and he's less. But it doesn't matter. The achtos and the family that we have, it's unbelievable. And I was blown away when I heard the story. The guy, okay, it's one thing to give you your house, but to fly, take a plane and fill up the thing with meat. Okay. There's a few like that in this generation. Baruch Hashem, we have the schus to know a bunch of them here. I just thought it was cute. A very famous guy in the shir, his name is Shimi Leifman, is from Manchester. So he had a few non-Jewish workers, and he did the Good Morning Rabbi Say with them. Let me see if we get some volume here.
Good morning, Rabbi Say.
I don't need to show you more than that. I'll give you an example of what I showed yesterday. Let's see if I could even get it. Let me first say these sponsors. The call of the week is sponsored by Yedidya Pereira. Please Daven for Pidyon Shvuim. Yonatan Asher Yehuda ben Michal, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. The Masechta for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. The guy spent $9,000 or so that we should sponsor the Masechta for the safe and speedy return of all the hostages. Paras HaChodesh. Zechariah ben Moshe Linash Zechariah bas Yosef. Paras HaChodesh. Yedidya Pereira. And again, please Daven for Pidyon Shvuim, Yonatan Asher Yehuda ben Michal, incarcerated, denied bail in Ireland. Paras HaYayim. YM Stahler hatzlacha in bais medrish. Paras HaYayim. Yeah, you should have hatzlacha bais medrish. Anonymous from Lakewood. Hakors hatov to rebelli for the past 3 years. Mr. Hashem should be zocha to finish shas together. So a bunch of people who started Masechtas Sukkah, we got a bunch of emails from them. This is about their 3rd year anniversary with the shir. Jeffrey Goldstein, Lidish Mas, Avi Mori, Yisrael, Avram Abba Ben, Shlomo Zalman, Zechron Levracha, Alter A. Goldstein, all of us shalom. And by Philip Byrne, otherwise known as Pinchas Byrne, the shir in Skokie, in memory of Sheldon Shaffel, Shmuel ben David HaKayin, Zechron Levracha, and Shabbos should have an aliyah. Paras HaYayim, George and Julie Lennon, in memory of Harold Crandall, Bas Yaakov, Pearl Nathan. Hey, Melachmov, you're here? Thanks for sponsoring. The Shabbos should have an aliyah. Lili Nishmas, R Yakov Bree, Yaakov Yitzchak Yona ben Betzalel, and by Ari Chekenau, Refuah Shlema, Mordechai ben Yocheved Tama. His grandson was in his house a few weeks ago, and a piece of granite hit the grandson on the head, and he is not okay. Still, I don't think he's conscious. He's whatever. Not a good situation. Thanks for making my Gemara my best friend, says Ari Chekenau. Okay, so here we go. I just wanted to share with you a video that our animators did. We have 3 full-time artists. 2 of them work on 3D stuff, and the other one does the 2D. So let me see if I can get this to work. Yeah, here we go. This is just showing the guy steals his cloak. Okay. That was yesterday's. Let's see what we have today. All right, so we are holding Daf Mem Dalet Amud Beis. It might be ahead, it might be behind, but doesn't really matter, right? 4 lines from the bottom. Gufa. Amar Ravin bar Shmuel mishmei de Shmuel. Ravin, the son of Shmuel, said in the name of Shmuel, Hamoicher sadal chaveiro sheloi b'achrayus. If a person sells real estate to his friend and doesn't give him a guarantee. Ein meid loy aleh. Now, certainly, if a guy, we're talking about somebody who's biased. When you're biased, you can't testify. So if you sell somebody real estate, you cannot testify and say that it's that person's piece of real estate. Certainly, if he took responsibility and there's a guarantee, of course he can't testify. But even, the Gemara is saying, even shaloi bachrais, even if there's no guarantee at all, why? Why is he biased? It's already not in his possession, so what does he care? Let him testify. The answer is, because if he owes money to somebody, that person can go and extract the field and take that piece of real estate. So it's in his best interest to testify that he indeed sold it to so-and-so and it's so-and-so's field. Let the guy who owes money go and grab that field here. I'll show you what it looks like. Let's say you have these are two partners. It doesn't really matter. So you have two people. Shimon on the right. He borrows money from this guy, the lender. Then he goes and he sells his piece of property to Levi. Here's the sale. So now it's Levi. Now the Malva comes and says, let's see, I want my money. So he says, I don't have money and I don't have any property. I sold my property to Levi. So the Malva goes, because there's achrayos, there's a shibud, real estate, there's a lien on real estate. So he goes and he steals, he takes the piece of property. That's in Shimon's interest. Shimon wants his balchayv to get paid. He wants him to get paid. Why? We're going to see why. So therefore, since he wants his lender to get paid with that real estate, even though he doesn't have any money now, so it doesn't really make a difference. He doesn't have money, doesn't have real estate. So what does he care? He can't do anything. He's bankrupt. But he wants him to get paid from that field. He's biased. He shouldn't testify. So says the Gemara, because by him testifying about this real estate, he makes available a piece of real estate to the lender. Says the Gemara, Amud Aleph on top. What's this situation? What's the case? If this guy Shimon has another piece of land, so let the lender go after the piece of real estate that he has. Why is the lender going after the poor guy that bought it from him, Mr. Levi? If he doesn't have any other real estate, what difference does it make? He doesn't have money, he doesn't have real estate, and he owes $1 million. So he owes $1 million. What does he care if the guy gets paid or not? It makes a difference to him if the guy gets paid, or if the guy he sold the field to loses the field or doesn't lose the field. It's done. Okay, think about it. He owes a guy $1 million, and he just sold the house for $1 million to a guy. Who does he want the house to belong to? The guy he owes money or the guy he sold it to? Both is an uncomfortable position. He owes money, doesn't want to owe money, but he just sold the house, and he's going to look like a terrible guy. He just sold him a house that has a lien on it, and the guy lost $1 million in the house. So which one does he? So the Gemara says, what does he care? He doesn't care. It doesn't make a difference to him. He could testify that it's Levi's house. Says the Gemara, no, he doesn't have any other land. And you're asking, what's the difference? There's a concept in the Torah called Loiva Rasha V'Lo Yishalem. When a person borrows money, he borrows money and he doesn't pay back, he's a Rasha. The Torah calls him a Rasha. Loiva Rasha V'Lo Yishalem. For instance, it's preferable if a person has an outstanding loan, so it's better to pay the loan than to give meiser money, to give tzedakah with your money. Because when you don't pay a loan, you're a Rasha. You don't give meiser, okay, you're not a Rasha. Some guy once came to the Chavetz Chaim and asked the Chavetz Chaim that he should write like a haskam on a sefer. So the Chavetz Chaim said, okay, I need a piece of paper. So the guy looks around, he sees the piece of paper. He comes and brings it to the Chavetz Chaim. So the Chavetz Chaim said, it's your piece of paper? He said, no. So whose is it? He goes, it's Hefker. Hefker. So he goes around, the Chavetz Chaim got up and he started asking people, is this your piece of paper? So the guy got annoyed at him. He said, it's just a piece of paper. It's Hefker. So Chavetz Chaim said, listen, if I take this piece of paper and it's not mine, I could be doing it Issa D'Oraisa. Small, you're right, it's almost insignificant, but it's Issa D'Oraisa. that creates a bad malach. And that bad malach has the power, this is the Chafetz Chaim saying, has the power to destroy the entire Varsha, the entire Warsaw. That's one malach from one small piece of paper. You got to be careful. Lo yiver Russia, v'lo yishalem. You consider Russia. Now, the Rishonim ask, but the guy is lying. Lying is also Issa D'Oraisa. It's also to lie. So you're concerned that perhaps he's lying in order not to be over the Aveira of Lo yiver Russia. But either way you look at it, so if he's lying, it's Issa D'Oraisa. If he doesn't pay back, it's Issa D'Oraisa. Which one is it? So Reb Chaim Shmulevitz says very famously, he says that, yeah, he's being over, but what does a person prefer? Person prefers Hakors hatov. Hakors hatov. He wants to, if a guy gave him money, he naturally has Hakors hatov, and even though it might include him lying, but he'd rather be nice to that guy and have Hakors hatov. That's what he says. Okay, so says the Gemara, we're holding 5 lines from the top. Saif saif, but at the end of the day, Lagavi idach nami lo yiver Russia v'lo yishalem. What's the difference? The guy that bought the house from you, you also owe him a house now. He bought a house and he paid $1 million for the house, and now he's out of a house. So Gemara says, yeah, I sold you the house without a guarantee. So I'm sorry, the $1 million, but the guy that I borrowed money from, I owe him the $1 million. Now, if you think to yourself, wow, that's crazy, we learned even crazier than that. We learned the other day, literally, yesterday, Reb Zvid holds that if you sell a house that doesn't belong to you, you pretend this is your house. Reb Zvid says, you pretend you sold a house, and you tell the guy specifically, no guarantee. I told the guys, I'll tell you now, because a lot of you haven't heard it. I know a guy that did this. He put his name on a building, and he sold the building to unsuspecting. I don't know how he did it. There's especially in America. It wasn't in America, it was somewhere else. We have title and all that stuff. I don't know how he did it. He pulled it off. He's great. He's good. He knows how to do this stuff. He's a real con artist. Put his name on the building. The guy walks by. Says, "Oh, it is your building." Okay, he bought the building. Then right after the guy left, he took the sign off. He just put a temporary sign. The guy fell for it. If you do that, the Gemara says that you cannot come back to the guy for the money. That's what the Gemara says, and that's how we pass in halacha. It's unbelievable. Why? Because I said straight out, I'm not taking any responsibility. Of course, halacha, mishamayim, you have to pay him, but legally you don't have any recourse because he said it's shalei b'achrayis. Okay, Rabbi Isai, what's beautiful about Daf Yomi is that we constantly start and end new sugyas. So if one sugya is confusing, just go into the next one. It's beautiful. Machers Rava, Yitever Rav Papa. Rava announced, and some people say it was Rav Papa, the Salkin Leilo, the Nachtan Latata, those who are going up to Eretz Yisrael, or those who are coming down from Eretz Yisrael, those who are going from Bavel to Eretz Yisrael, or from Eretz Yisrael to Bavel. Hi, Bar Yisrael, the Zaben Le, Chamor Le Yisrael, Chavrei, a person who sells a donkey. Nowadays, they'll call it, he sells a car to his friend. V'ka'asi akum v'onis leminei, and a non-Jew, we'll call him a Oived Kachavim, person who worships idols. V'onis leminei, and he tries to grab it from him. So we have a little bit of a video here. This is just to mix it up, There's a donkey. Comes the non-Jew, v'onis leminei. All right. So I like to do this once in a while during the shir, make a little joke, and go weiter. Milsa de b'dichusa, middle of the shir. So you sell to your friend, you sell him something, a donkey, a car, whatever it is, and then some non-Jew. This is not really accurate. This video. The non-Jew says, "Look, I believe it's mine. I'll take you to court on it." Dinahu, the halacha is the mefpatzi le minei. So there's a question in Rishonim what the word mefatzi means. Mefatzi in Hebrew, mefatzot in Hebrew means to pay him, compensate. Thank you. So some Rishonim learn, Taisa says it means literally he has to pay back. Other Rishonim, like the Ritva, they say, no, it's not. You don't have to compensate. You have to go and fight for it. You have to go to court for him. Okay. What's bas chamoiroi? If you cannot recognize the animal, here's something that we did in the past. There was a Gemara that discussed this. This is bas chamoiroi. That if it's so recognizable, you can't mistake this for anyone else's donkey or animal, camel in this case. So you know it's his. You know it was the Jews that you bought it from. So you know that this non-Jew has no business taking him and suing him. So since that non-Jew has no business and you know it, then you can't tell the Jew, go fight with him. It's not his fight. It's your fight with the non-Jew. If you don't know, you don't recognize the animal, and the non-Jew comes along and says, hey, this was my car. This is my donkey. So you call the guy that sold it, you say, you deal with him. But if you know that it was the Jews, then it's not his problem. So says the Gemara, Ukfa is a saddle. So if the non-Jew comes and grabs the donkey together with the saddle, so what does that show us? He's a ganav. He doesn't care about the truth. He's here to take. But if he says, this donkey is mine, the saddle, I don't recognize it. That's yours. He puts the saddle on the side. Now you see, he's serious. He's not a ganav. He really believes it's his donkey. So if that's the case, then you have to tell the guy that sold it to you to take care of it. As a side point, not a lot of people know this, but sometimes, like you go on vacation, you ride a donkey, you ride a horse. So the hatzlacha, the Gemara says you're not allowed to ride without a saddle. It's usher to ride a donkey or a horse. I've seen guys do it. Try it. It's usher. Says the Gemara. But if the guy tries to steal the donkey together with a saddle, you don't call in the Jew that sold it to you. Amir says it doesn't matter what the case is. Everybody knows that a person that worships idols is an anos who grabs stuff. Shenemar asher piem diber shav v'yiminam yamin shaker. Their mouth talks falsehood, and from the right is all lies. You know what else? We have lies, and it's interesting. Somebody asked Rabbi Kamenetsky, he said, my daughter is 30 years old, and she's in Shidduchim. Should I tell people she's 28? You're not going to believe the answer. No, what's the answer? Who said it's okay? It's okay. Why is it okay? For shidduch. He said, not only is it okay, you have to. You know why? Because if you say she's 30, people are going to add 2 years anyways. They say she's 32. That's the way it works with shidduchim. Shidduchim, you always minus at least 2 years. Now you know the trick. So if it's 30, you mean to say 28. It's not even a lie. Just thought it's interesting here. Ashapi and Diber Shav don't really believe those shatchanim when they tell you stuff. So let's see. This is the Mishnah. The Mishnah says, Ha'uman v'hashutfim v'harisin. These are people that, what's chazaka? Chazaka is, if you're in a property for 3 years, it's good proof that it's yours. It doesn't make it yours, but it's proof that it's yours. There are people that are not part of this. Uman is a craftsman, like a guy that owns a dry cleaners. He can't say, oh, this coat is mine, because people give him coats all day long. He'll take the coat and pretend it's his. Who else? We have shutfim, arisim. Okay, so we're going to go one by one here. Uman ein lechazaka. The Uman, dry cleaners, cannot claim that he owns this. Now, we have a klal, we have a rule in the Gemara. Chazaka, kol ma shetachas yad adam harei shaloi. That is, when it comes to movable objects, you don't need a chazaka, you don't need 3 years. When I tell you this is my suit, you can't have it. It's my suit. Why? Because I'm wearing it. This is my yarmulke. This is my computer. You can't just come and grab it. Oh, well, you don't have a chazaka 3. I don't need a chazaka. I have a different chazaka. It's called the chazaka that anything that's in your possession is yours. The only exception to that, but there's some exceptions, and that's what we're going to see now. We have dvarim asuyim lahashul lahaskir, things that are, we're not really going to go into that much, but things that are normal to lend out or to rent, that you have, you don't have, it's not yours just because you're wearing it. So now, what about a dry cleaner? The guy comes in the dry cleaner. I love what Yoshi did here because, wait, that's my shirt. And if you look closely, the guy's wearing it with the plastic from the dry cleaners. I thought it was cute. Okay. So it's my shirt. So Uman doesn't have chazaka. A craftsman, any type of craftsman, a guy that fixes cars, he can't say, hey, it's my car. No, it's not your car. I brought it into the shop. It's my car. No chazaka. Comes Rabbi and says, drops a bomb here. The only time we say that the Uman is not believed is when there are two witnesses that saw the whole thing. They saw, what am I doing here? Mark, I don't know if you hear me, but my buttons aren't working. Okay. Here we go. Great. So in this situation, the two guys on the bottom, they see how the guy is giving in his shirt. Then, in that case, the dry cleaner, the guy that owns the dry cleaner, we don't trust him because there's two Eidim. Without Eidim, says Rabbah, we do trust him. Why? There's something called a migui, which Phil mentioned in a speech. I don't know why. I guess he thought it's the shortest word in shas. I don't know. Here, loy is shorter. Loy, here, two loys. One with a vav, one without. Why do you say migui? Just for the appointed key. It's in the daf. Okay, great. If a guy is lying, he could say a much better lie. He could say, I don't know who you are. The guy walks into the dry cleaners. Hey, that shirt you're wearing is mine. Get out of here. I don't know who you are. Get lost. Well, because I own a dry cleaner, so everything I wear, you can come and grab off my back? So because he could lie and say, I don't know who you are. And so now that he says, I bought it from you, mehemen, that's the migui. If I'm lying, I could say a better lie. So you have to trust me that I bought it off you. I could have just said, I don't know who you are. Amarle Abaya. So now Abaya argues. So now we have Eidim Asira. You see, Eidim Asira is two people that saw him giving it into the dry cleaners. Even if you have these two witnesses that say that we saw him giving it to the dry cleaners, it just reminds me, there's a mashal that there was a guy that was jealous of his friend. He had a very nice Cartier or whatever. What is it called? Patek Philippe, whatever it's called. What's it called? What? Patek Philippe, whatever. Okay. One of these $70,000 watches. He saw it, he liked it. So he decided to devise an idea how to get it from him. So he goes to him and says, listen, I just bought this watch, and what do you think? And he says, oh, how much you pay for it? He says, look at my watch. And he says, let me see your watch. And he takes the watch. As he says, let me see the watch. He takes the watch, puts it in his pocket. He says, what are you doing? It's my watch. He says, it's not your watch. He says, I'm taking you to Bezdin. He says, Bezdin. Bezdin. How am I going to get to Bezdin? He says, here, get in my car and we'll go to Bezdin. He says, no, it's too cold. Says, here, take my coat. We're going to Bezdin. So he takes his coat, takes the car, and they go to Bezdin. And the guy says, no, what? He says, he stole my watch. So the guy says, this guy is a real liar. I'll tell you, look, he's probably going to say that the coat that he's wearing is his coat. It's my coat also. So the guy says, no, exactly. He's a liar. This is my coat. It's my watch. And the car, it's my car also. So Bezdin says, no, the guy starts screaming, it's my car, my watch, my coat. Bezdin says, okay, something doesn't look, you're probably lying. This guy is right. And that Shalom Yisrael sent him off. So the guy lost his watch, lost his car. Not only did he lose his watch, he also lost the car and then his suit. So I think it's the Chavetz Chaim who says, it's basically what the Yetzer Hara does to us. He starts slow. He takes something from us, And then we get more and more involved in this, whatever it is, and he just keeps on taking stuff from us. He takes the car, he takes the this and that. And at the end, he brings up there to the Bezdin Shalmala, and he makes us look like fools. He's the one that does the whole thing. He tricks us, and he keeps on doing, he takes the car, and at the end, we have Bezyonis from the Bezdin Shalmala too. Over here, this guy says, what do you mean, this shirt? It looks familiar? No, it's mine. I don't know who you are. Or he'll say, I bought it from you. It makes you look like a fool. So says Abaya, even if you have Eidim, it's not going to work. He's still going to make you look like a fool. Because he could say, I'm the dry cleaner. I gave it back to you. Every dry cleaner could say that. So too, when he says, I purchased it from you, he's believed. Why? Because he has a migui. That's a migui. If I say I bought it, I should be believed because I could say a better lie. I could say, I gave it back to you. So the bottom line is, Abaye doesn't like Rabba's thing. Rabba says, look, you have to have Eidim Masiro, you have to have witnesses, otherwise we do believe the guy. No, Abaye says we don't believe it. Rabba, it's not true what you're saying. Misavris daf mem Amud Beis. Misavris hamafkid hatzlacha be'edim and zocha be'edim. You made a mistake here. If this is the situation where you have two Eidim that witnessed the guy giving the stuff into the dry cleaners, then you need two Eidim to witness that you took the stuff out of the dry cleaners, and therefore it won't be believed according to you. Once it's like me that there's two Eidim, then there is no migui afterwards. Your question that he has a migui, he can lie and say that he gave it back. He can't say he gave it back. Why? Because once you give it in with Eidim, you have to give it back with Eidim. Okay. Just have to do these sponsors right here for the turning of the daf. Sponsored by Israel Share, Construction Management Supervision, Life Share Community. Something called the Life Share Community, by the way. Protecting families today before tomorrow's unexpected loss. Basically, a guy from our shir in Ramavat Shemesh. He's actually a Talmud Chacham also, but he put together this thing. A lot of people were dying without life insurance. So he's putting together a big group of people. Sorry, guys. Almost finished here. Something about MDY that we noticed is that Amud Beis is always shorter than Amud Aleph, no matter what. It's just the way, I guess, Vilna printed it. I don't know. It's just they put the easier stuff always on Amud Beis. Okay. So, I had an interesting story many years ago. Without getting into too many details, I bought myself as a, sometimes you reward yourself for something. So I reward myself. I bought myself a Mont Blanc pen. I bought it in the airport. It's like $400 or $500. I don't even know, maybe more. So, what is my wife there? What did you say? So, I by mistake left it in my shirt pocket, and I went to the dry cleaners. So I panicked a little bit. I called up the guy. I said, hey, I left my pen in the shirt pocket. He said, oh, yeah, no problem. Don't worry, bring it. So he brings the stuff, but he forgot to bring the pen. I'm like, oh, yeah, next time. Anyway, a week, 2 weeks go by, he brings it back. And I take a look at it, and Mont Blanc has like a star that floats in the crystal, some of them. The Mont Blanc, the symbol is a star. And this one had like a piece of crystal on top of the pen. And I looked at it, and it's a little crooked. Like, that doesn't make any sense. This is a German pen. They're not going to mess up their... So I sent it to Mont Blanc. I was a little suspicious. I sent it to them. And they sent it back and said, sir, you have a fake. Now, I bought it in a Mont Blanc store. There's no... either the person in the store... or... what I'm thinking is that the guy from the dry cleaner, he took it and switched it out with the fake. Just that's right. Very good. He has a migo. He didn't have to return it. So it says he's allowed to steal it. I hear. No, we should believe him. I did confront him, and he was very insulted by that. Okay. So says the Gemara. Meisvei Abaya. So again, to review. when this is the case right over here, he says, you're wearing my shirt, he's not believed according to, hold on, I got to do something quickly. So, again, a guy gives something into the dry cleaners, to Uman, to craftsman. The only time the craftsman is not believed if two people witnessed. Abai is of the opinion that it's not the craftsman as much as it's not the Edim Masira. It's something called. Let me see. Not going. Here, let's see if I can go do it this way. Just technical difficulties, not a big deal. Yedidya is what Abaya holds. Abaya says they testify that they see the dry cleaner guy wearing it, not so much seeing him receiving it as much as wearing it. Okay, so Meismi Abaya. Ra avdoi biyad uman v'talisa biyad kailis. You see your slave by a craftsman. What does that mean? So I thought maybe it means this, but that was wrong. Here's a slave by a craftsman. But no, that's not what it means. It means that your slave was being taught some sort of craft. Okay? So you see him there. Or v'talisa biyad kailis. You see a talus by the dry cleaner, which, if you mention, you might as well mention this. Sometimes you go to shul, you see a guy with a talus. He has a beautiful brioni suit, nice watch, but his talus has that one hole. You know, on the corners where you fold it, it has that hole, and his talus is yellow. You know what I'm talking about? So the Peliyayit says that what kind of business is this? It's a mitzvah. Just like you spend money on a lulav and an esrog, on a beautiful tefillin, you have to have a beautiful talus. You have to dry clean it. You have to wash. That's what the Peliyayit says. So I said it yesterday in the Hebrew shir, and Reb Zalman Twersky from Chicago, he was there. He said, you said something similar 3 years ago on Masechet Sukkah. You said, no, I'm serious. You said, why is it that people on Sukkot, they come at the second to last day of Sukkot, their aravas are black and you know what I'm talking about? Those aravas. So I gave a whole thing about it. Mine are also black, but I tell the shir that they should get nice aravas. And he said, ever since then, I buy a bunch of aravas, I put them in my fridge, and every few days I switch out to new aravas. Okay. So if one thing came out of the shir, maybe just dry clean your towels, make it look nice. Zekeli Bambeu, it's a mitzvah. It's not a fun of a mitzvahs. So says the Gemara, if you see your talus by the dry cleaner, you see your slave by a craftsman, what is it doing here? So he says, what do you mean, what is it doing here? So here's what he says. You gave it to me, you sold it to me, or you gave it to me as a gift. A dry cleaner guy is not believed to say that he received your garment as a gift. But if he says, where's the next one? But if he says this, now we're involving a third guy. You told me, the dry cleaner says, you told me in front of a third guy that I should give it to him as a gift. You, the guy on the left, told me, the dry cleaner guy, to give it to the guy on the right. Dvar of Kayamim, then we trust him. Says the Gemara, what's the difference? At the end of the day, both of them are claiming that they got it from the owner. The owner said to give it. And it's, the first case we said we don't trust the dry cleaner. We said, oh, you told me I could have it as a gift. Here, the safe is more like this. You see now who's talking? The dry cleaner guy. The Gemara says no. It's somebody else completely. The guy talking is the guy that has the clothing today. That's the guy talking. The third guy who's holding on to the shirt, he's the guy talking. The third guy said, you told the owner, the guy on the left, to give it to me, to sell it to me. To give it to me as a gift. The guy holding the shirt could have lied and say, I bought it directly from the guy in the gray shirt. So when he says, you told him to sell it to me, He has a migui. If he wanted to lie, he could have lied better. That I got it directly from you. I don't have to involve the third person. But that was just going out of. We went on a tangent a little bit. But what's the bottom line here? So Gemara says, "Katanimi is ratio raw." It says the word raw. Yeah. Let's see if we can find it for you guys. Otherwise, just look on top of the page. It's there. Okay. It says raw. That the owner saw somebody else wearing his clothing. Hey, Chidam, he says, if there are Eidim Masira, yeah? Eidim Masira, the Eidim that witnessed, the two witnesses that saw him giving it over, Lamali Ra, then why does the owner have to see that now, today, the dry cleaning guy is wearing it? You don't need that. As long as there were two witnesses that saw him giving it, that's enough. They say Eidim Nishkal. So why is he doing all that? You should go walk over and grab it from him. There's no Eidim Masira. V'chira miyatavizle. Oh, and if there is Eidim Ria, like this, there's witnesses that saw this, then you could grab it. You don't need Eidim Masira like Rabbah says. And that's a question on Rabbah. Rabbah says that without Eidim, he's believed. Over here, he's not believed. So now, let's see. Basically, Rabbah comes up with an upshot. And that's this. Rabbah says you need both. You ask me a question from the Brisa that it seems like you need only Eidim Ria, and I say you need Eidim Masira. I say you need both. You need Eidim Masira plus Eidim Ria. Why? If there's no Eidim Ria, there's no witnesses that see him wearing it right now, then the guy, he's believed. Why? Because he has a migud. See, I gave it back to you. But if I have witnesses that saw that you gave it into the dry cleaner, and I have witnesses that saw that you're wearing it, you can't say you gave it back because you're wearing it. So I need both, says Rabbi. I need both. Says the Gemara. So what's the Gemara's question now? There's no migui. Why is there no migui? What is he going to say? If he's lying, he could have said, I gave it back. But what did Rabbah say on the top, the first words on this Amud? He said that if somebody gives somebody something with Eidim saw that the guy gave it to the dry cleaners, you need Eidim that see you taking it out of the dry cleaners. So then the owner of the dry cleaners won't be believed to say, I gave it back to you, because he would require Eidim that saw that giving back. And if that's the case, you don't have a migui. You can't say, oh, why didn't he say? He should have said, he could have lied better and say, I gave it back. You cannot say you gave it back because it has to be done in front of Eidim. Hadri B. You're right. I took that part back also. You don't need Eidim. And in other words, Rabbah is in agreement that you need Eidim Ria. You don't need Eidim that saw him giving it back. Rabboisai, have a wonderful day. Thank you for coming out. And don't forget, if you want to join, you join today in the middle of the Masechta, in the middle of a parak. It's a perfect day to join. Shkoyach Phil.